Hey guys, thanks again for tuning in to another episode of Local Legends. Today I'm joined by my sister, Chantel Saliba. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So we're in your hair salon, I Am Hair. So tell me a little bit about you. Don't worry about the business for now. Tell me a bit about you and what you're about.
So I am 25 years old. I live in Dural. Have had my salon now for nearly 6 years. So opened when I was 19 years old. And I mean, I love what I do. I mean, hairdressing is my passion, and yeah.
So what do you do outside of hairdressing? I know we can talk a bit about business. You're big on that. So let's talk about a little bit outside of hairdressing. What do you get up to outside of that?
So outside of hairdressing, I help run Chief & Co at Dural, which is a drive-through cafe with my dad, Ray. We've had that for a couple of years now, which is going amazing. So I think business is what is the driving force behind what I usually get up to on a day-to-day basis, mixed with family and cooking and all that type of stuff. So yeah.
Tuesday night dinners that a lot of people would see on Instagram.
Definitely, that's a big thing on Instagram lately, is our Tuesday night dinners. So I definitely enjoy getting a little bit creative in the kitchen. That's always a little bit of fun, and yeah, just being around my family. I enjoy going out, having beautiful dinners. So yeah.
Yeah, okay. So let's talk about business. Opened up the hair salon when you were 19 years of age.
Correct.
So straight out of an apprenticeship, I remember,
Yep.
when we were talking about opening this up. We were a little bit crazy at the time. We didn't know exactly how it was going to go, but we just went head first into it. Talk us through the actual journey from starting it up, what it took to get it to where it is today.
Definitely. I think going into opening the salon, it was one of those things where I wasn't overly prepared, but I also knew in business it was about taking a risk. So we took the risk and pretty much invested everything that we had financially, including yourself. I think the thing was, in the process of that, it was really trial and error. And probably the first 12 months to 18 months was really trial and error. I think we came to a point there at probably 18 months, I'd say, where it was pretty close to kind of wiping our hands and saying this is not going to work. I think financially it came down to, at that age, how do you try and balance a business at 20 years old at that stage, or 21, and have a balanced life as well. So then moving forward from that, we kind of bounced back from it, which is amazing. And I mean, again, a lot of risk taking, but it's brought us to where we are now, which is now nearly 6 years in business, and it's better than ever, which is fantastic. So, I mean, that's where we're at.
So I remember that stage really well, actually, when you're about 19 years old, like you said, 18 months into the business, and things started to get really challenging at that point. Obviously, we overcame that. Talk to us a little bit about some lessons learned, some things that you would do if you did this again next time. What would you do differently?
I think having a business plan and sticking to it as much as you possibly can. I'm definitely not someone that goes by the books in the sense of having that definite structure, but having a plan, and when you at least fall off that wagon a little bit, you can kind of go back to your business plan and say, listen, you know what, this is where I'm going wrong, X, Y, and Z. And I think it's really a bit of accountability. At that stage, I wasn't really being accountable of the mistakes that were being made. So definitely,
nor were we accountable to you, because we helped you open up the business, and we're just like, here you go and run it.
Sure, yeah.
Little did we know, you obviously didn't have any idea, a little bit of an idea of what you were doing, but you'd never done it before.
Yeah.
So I guess what you're saying is maybe having some people around you to hold you accountable as well?
I think it's very important. Anyone going into business, regardless, young or old, is having a support system around you that can at least guide you. And if not making you accountable, then guiding you to that point. So that is definitely on the top of my lessons learned for anyone that I do speak to that is going into business. I might make sure you have a good foundation of people that can pull you up and say, listen, you need to take a left here and kind of straighten you up a little bit, for sure.
Yeah. So talk to us about the team that are around you at the moment.
Yeah.
So who's in your business? What are their roles?
Definitely. So I have a few girls that work for me. Danielle and Clara, who my really backbone in my business. Clara is our head stylist and colorist, and Danielle our head stylist. And I mean, without a great team, I think your business really isn't going to function correctly. So without, I mean, the rest of our team, we wouldn't be where we are today, definitely. And it takes time to find an amazing team. In this generation, we're all about, especially in such a personal service, about giving back to our clients and having that personal service with them. Each client that walks through the door, we know their name, we know what they're after. So once you've found your team and your kind of your crew, I feel like it's good to hold on to them and to look after them.
Yeah. So apart from the personal service, which you touched on, which I see firsthand, when you come in here, you've got tea and coffee ready for people. You remember what they actually want when they actually come in. There's sort of the colour and the cuts and all that things that you're doing. So it's definitely a very personal service. What else do you think sets you apart from the competition?
I think one thing that sets us apart is actually our product of work. We are always innovative and always at new seminars and making sure that we're on top of things. So that is a big thing, but it really, I mean, when someone asks me what draws us apart minus our teas and coffees, it's about the fact that we care about our clients. We actually are interested in what is going on in their lives. And if it's something that we can help them with from our past experience and hand that over to them with advice or whatever it may be, then we really are here for them. Yeah. Literally.
Yeah, that's what I love about the business. So you mentioned earlier Chief & Co, which is our dad's business, drive-through food truck, coffees, protein shakes, all that sort of stuff. You help him run that, and you really are, I think, the backbone to his business. Whilst you've got your girls here, the backbone to yours, you definitely support him there. What's your role in that business, and how do you find a balance between running two businesses?
Yeah. So my role in Chief & Co is the back end, so handling staff, payroll and whatnot, all those types of little things, and marketing. I think for me, finding a balance, I am very much so driven by business. So it's a little bit hard for me to answer that because I actually don't feel that it's the balance for me is like whenever you can fit in family and whenever you can fit in friends or going out, you kind of fit that in. I think, I mean, it's just one of those things. I actually struggle. People ask me all the time, how do you find a balance between your work life and, you know, running your salon, being involved in Chief & Co? And I just feel it just comes. Obviously, you need to be up earlier. My Mondays are really dedicated to Chief & Co, having a structure and a plan that I always put forward on those days and just following through with that.
So effortless is what I sort of put it down to when I see your work ethic. It's not a job. Like, it's not as if, you know, you're having to pull the laptop out and work when you're at home. It's like, this is just what I do and this is just how I operate.
Definitely. I mean, hairdressing, I always say, is my passion, but when it comes to running a business, that is something that I just get a rush, like it's like fire in my stomach. So it isn't a chore at all.
Yeah. So on that, like, what's next? What's the next big goal? Where do you see yourself 1 to 5 years down the track?
Yeah. So in business, I mean, the salon, I feel like we're at a great point. We are turning it over to more hair extension and colour salon. And I think really for my team, it's about growing them and reaching their goals with them. Chief & Co, same thing. It's just really kind of growing where we want it to go at a rapid pace, which is amazing. As for my personal life, I think a little bit of travel involved and, you know, just enjoying every day. I think we're very lucky to be surrounded. I'm lucky to be surrounded by such amazing people. So I just want to enjoy that.
Yeah. So travel, what does that look like? Where do you want to be? I mean, when do you want to be there so I can hold you accountable to that?
Wonderful. I'm hoping next year in July. I feel like that's when it's going to happen. And we'll see, maybe Greece.
Okay.
Fingers crossed. Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. Very exciting. Interesting part of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. Okay, and is there anything else that you'd want to share with anyone listening that's maybe thinking about opening up their own business? I know you shared a few tips and stuff. Anything else that you'd like to put out there?
I think just go for it. In any business, you need to understand that you are taking a risk. And I mean, make sure you have a great support system around you that is going to be able to guide you. It's worth the ride, to be honest. You're going to have ups and you're going to have downs, and know that when you are at your downs, it means that your business needs a change to then see a peak.
Yeah.
And it's just the process, and it's just a little bit of a roller coaster. And if you can't enjoy the roller coaster, then jump off. But it's actually, for me, it's a thrill and it's amazing to be on. So just go for it.
Yeah, so a little bit like riding the wave is the analogy 100%. I use a lot. You can't control the waves, just how you ride them.
Exactly right.
And just keep rolling through it. Yeah,
most definitely. For sure.
And bit more personal, you became an auntie recently.
Yes.
How was that?
Amazing. Mason is nearly 3 weeks old.
Yeah, he will be. Yeah.
And he's doing fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're in charge of the feeds in the mornings and the nappy changes
Definitely.
At that point?
I feel like now it's not as exciting, but I think, well, it isn't exciting. I feel like I'm excited for him to have like more of a smile and like give us a little bit more. So I'm holding on and waiting for that. But it is like the most amazing thing in the world.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for that.
Yeah. Thanks to Sarah, my wife, for helping out with
well
that.
Well done, Sarah.
She's done good with that.
Yeah.
Well, look, it's an amazing feat in terms of where you've come, an amazing journey. Starting off a business at 19 years of age is super impressive, with zero experience, straight out of an apprenticeship, and then also being the backbone to a second business, also whilst running your own. So congratulations on, again, an amazing journey. It's actually really exciting to see where you've come, but even more exciting to see where you're actually going to go past this point.
Most definitely.
I know you've got a lot of exciting things in your head. You've just got to get them out of your head and actually put them into action.
For sure.
So thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks, guys, for tuning in.